Now, after having created several commits, you will probably want to look back to see what has happened. This might not make sense in our case because we only committed to the repo a couple of times. But eventually the repository is going to grow and so will the count of commits. The most basic and powerful tool to see what has happened in the past is the git log command. We already took a glimpse at it in the previous video, but let's go a little deeper. When you run git log in this project, you should get output that looks something like this. By default, with no arguments, git log lists the commits made in that repository in reverse chronological order, which basically means the most recent commits show up first. As you can see, this command lists each commit with its SHA1 checksum, the string over here, the name of the author, the email of the author, the date of the commit, and the commit message. SHA1 or Secure Hash Algorithm 1 is a cryptographic hash function which takes an input and produces a 40-digit number. Each file, directory, or a revision of the said file or directory is referred by this 40-digit number. This git log command has a bunch of options as well to make your debugging process more efficient. One of the more helpful options is -p or patch, which shows the differences introduced in each commit. You can also limit the number of log entries displayed by using -1, 2, or whatever number you want to show only that many entries. This is very helpful for code review or to quickly browse what happened during a series of commits that a collaborator had made. So let me just quickly show you. If I do git log -2, I'll only be seeing the 2 topmost commits. If I do git log -p, you can see that there's a diff generated for the script file in this commit and the previous commit. The difference is that a file was deleted in this commit, which is script.js. So essentially the patch command gives you the differences introduced in each commit. If you want to see some abbreviated stats for each commit, you can use the stat option. The stat option prints below each commit entry a list of modified files and how many lines in those files were added or removed. So let me do that. I'll clear this. Git log stat. Here you can see that the script.js file was deleted. So one file changed, but there were no insertions or deletions inside that file. Below this, in this installed express commit, you'll be able to see 1000 lines added to the package.log.json file. The git ignore file also had 1 insertion and script.js file had 0 insertions. So yeah, the stat option is pretty handy if you want to see these abbreviated stats for each of your files. Another useful option is the pretty option. This option changes the log output to a different format. Like for instance, the one line option prints each commit on a single line, which is useful if you're looking at a lot of commits. So let me do that. Git log pretty, and the value will be 1 line. You'll see here that each commit now is on a single line. The only thing that you see here is the checksum and the commit message. There are other options available as well. I personally don't use this as often because you quickly get used to the default format and it's pretty informative and compact on its own. You can also format your commits by creating a special sequence like what you're seeing on the screen. If you want to know more about this, you can refer to the documentation which I've linked in the description. Another very useful option is the Pickaxe or -s option. This option takes a string and shows only those commits that change the number of occurrences of that particular string. So for instance, if you wanted to find the last commit that added or removed a reference to a specific function, you could call git log -s and the name of the function. So let me do that. I'll create a new file here, or maybe let's call it test.js. And inside here, I'll create a function. I'll quickly first add it and commit it to the repository. Now I'll use git log, the pickaxe option, and the name of the function. So it filters out the particular commit that had made change to this hello world string, which in this case is going to be the previous commit, because before that there was no hello world string in our project. So yeah, this is a very handy option. Similar to this, you can also filter commits by searching for a particular word which was present in a commit message. So since my last commit message was created a new function, let's look for the word created. So git log. The option name, by the way, is grep, so grep, and created. Yeah, it will give you the same commit again, and it has highlighted the word that we are looking for. Finally, if you specify a directory or a file name, you can limit the log output to commits that introduced a change specifically to those files. This is always the last option and is generally preceded by double dashes to separate the paths from the options. So git log, double dashes, and I would want commit messages only related to the test.js file here. So I'm going to type in test.js, and yeah, you'll only be able to see the last commit message because that is the only commit message that has any relation to this test.js file. This file wasn't even there before this commit, so yeah, this is what we expected. Now, while all of this is really helpful, once you start using a remote repository like GitHub, you will most probably check the logs over there. These options do help you a lot, but the debugging tools that GitHub provides is much more intuitive and user-friendly. The only situation where I imagine myself using these logs is when I don't have internet around me. But regardless of what I use, these logs are indeed pretty helpful, and it's better if you get accustomed to some of the tricks that I've mentioned in this video. Apart from that, if you have any doubts or suggestions, you can put them in the comments, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.